Hey everyone, I hope you're all doing well. It's the 7th of January, it's a Monday, and I think this is the first day after New Year that a lot of people are going back to work, going back to the gym, going back to their regular routine. What I would like to do in this video is talk about the trend of non-replaceable batteries. Now, this is a subject that I have spoke about a few times in the past, and it continues to be something that drives me nuts. The fact that in phones, in tablets and in some laptops, you can't change the battery. Now that is a major annoyance for me. It's planned obsolescence. You see a lot of tech companies doing this, and it's a main part of their business model that they want you to use this for like a year, 2 years at most, and then replace it, which is ridiculous when you consider the prices of high-end smartphones, high-end tablets and laptops. This is a fairly cheap phone. It's like under £300. So, in that regard, when the battery goes in this in a year or two, when it degrades to a level where this phone isn't usable anymore, then I'll have to simply throw it away or sell it. But I won't be too annoyed because it is a little bit cheaper. But if you look at, the top end of the market, your Google, Samsung, Apple's of the world. I know that's a cliche statement, but yes, Apple, Samsung, Google, even Huawei as well. All these companies charge several, like $500 to $1,000, euros, pounds, whatever, and they don't allow you to replace your battery. Now, it's a major annoyance for me because in the past I have had phones which were fine. Like my Google Nexus 6P, after I think it was about 15 months, the battery got to a level where the phone was unusable. It would get to like 20% and then die. I was having to charge the phone like twice a day. Now that was annoying because I was happy with the camera, I was happy with the performance. The major problem there was the battery. But this is something that we're seeing time and time again. Now, the reason that I'm bringing this up is because there was a statement by Tim Cook of Apple about 5 days ago, and it was a letter to Apple investors, and it's referring to the fact that they are apparently expecting a $9 billion loss. Now, take that with a little pinch of salt, because there's obviously a lot of accounting goes. They move money around different, tax havens and all that. But I want to jump over to my browser just now, and I want to talk about this. So if I jump over to my browser, so this is the letter from Tim Cook to Apple investors. You can see here, Apple's fiscal 2009 first quarter revenue of approximately $84 billion. Let that sink in. Gross margin of 38%, operating expenses $8.7 billion. Now, I don't want to bore you with those figures too much. There's a statement down here though, which is relevant to what I'm talking about here. Under this section here, lower than anticipated iPhone revenue. Lower than anticipated. And if you go down here, it gives a lot of reasons. We believe there are a number of factors broadly impacting our iPhone performance, including consumers adapting to a world with fewer carrier subsidies, US dollar strength related price increases, and some customers taking advantage of significantly reducing pricing for iPhone battery replacements. Now, what they're referring to here is this. Now, they've kind of worded it in a way that's not really delving deep into what really happened, but Apple get caught with their hands in the honey jar, and they get caught slowing down iPhones, purposely slowing down older iPhones, and they said it was to conserve battery and all that. It wasn't. It was to encourage people to upgrade, and because they did get caught, and you really, I'm surprised more iPhone users didn't just jump ship to Android or to another phone platform. But they reduced the price of replacing the battery from like $79, even higher in some areas, down to only $29. And this was starting in late January through to December 2018. And this is what they're talking about here when Tim Cook is talking about reduced pricing for iPhone battery replacements. So what are they talking about? They are talking about the fact that they normally charge through the nose for battery replacements. They normally charge about $100 or so. In some places, it's even higher. And, I'm referring to Apple here because Tim Cook came out with a statement, but Samsung have given similar statements in their performance reports. And other companies are very guilty of this as well. They charge through the nose for battery replacements to the point where you're like, well, why the hell would I replace the battery in a phone that's 2 years old when I can just put that money towards a new phone? And that's exactly what they want. They want you to buy a new phone. And it's very, very frustrating, this trend of this, because, most people would just prefer to, replace the battery on the phone that they've got. But they're kind of forced, their hand is forced to go out there and buy a new phone. And kind of in a similar vein to this, what they do as well is they build these phones specifically in a way that they're very, very difficult to repair. If you look at iFixit and other repair websites, they give a rating to any new phone, and they tell you how easy it is to replace the screen, replace the battery and all that. And some of these phones are purposely designed in a very, very bad way. They're designed in a way so that if you have to replace the screen or the battery, the two main things that need replaced in phones generally, it's very, very difficult. You need to get a lot of expert tools, suction cups to take everything out. It is quite a delicate thing to do, which is why most people don't do it. You can buy replacement kits on eBay and things like that, but because of the technical skills that are necessary to actually replace them, most people don't do it. And obviously the cost and all that as well, which is why some people, they go to third party companies to replace a battery. But if you do go and you go down the market somewhere and you get a battery replaced by some guy in a shop, then it will void your Apple warranty, your Google warranty, your Samsung warranty. So they're assholes about this, let's be honest. Right, so the reason I'm doing this video is, yes, the letter is out there by Tim Cook to investors, but really, as we're in 2019 now, this is a trend that I would really like to see stopped. I really would like to see this stopped. And I think this has to come from the government as far as pushing this to stop this, because there is absolutely no reason why batteries shouldn't go back to the way they were. I used to always buy 2 or 3 batteries from my phones, and then I would just take one out, put the other one back in that was charged. Saved you having to charge phones. You just have, pre-charged batteries. I did it all the time. In fact, when I bought one of my older Nokia phones, it actually came with 2 batteries for that, and it came with a little charging stand so that you could charge one and charge the phone at the same time. And I would like to see us go back to that. Firstly, from a money point of view, from my expenses point of view, I don't like having to always replace phones. Certainly, even if I do replace my phone every year, I don't like my old phone being unusable because the battery has degraded so much. I'd like to, simply keep that phone alive. If it's only for a backup or even to give it to like my mum or dad or something, I'd like to give it to them, but I'd like to give them with a new battery so that they get full performance, etc. But that's not the situation we're in. But also, from an ecological, from an environmental point of view, I think that the situation that we've got where everyone's just throwing tablets and phones and laptops away because the battery has degraded to a point where it's unusable and you can't afford, in an affordable way, replace that battery. I think that that's really bad for the environment and it's simply impractical. And I do think that we're not going to see technology companies stopping this trend until it comes from the government, regulation and things like that. Obviously, billion-dollar companies do have a lot of influence wherever they are, but I'd like to see government step in and say this trend has to stop. It's forcing people to replace their phone every 18 months or whatever it may be. Same with tablets, same with laptops. It's a trend I would like to see stop. So please do leave a comment below. Let me know what you think about the statement from Apple. And again, I'm not singling out Apple per se. Just about every major tech company is guilty of this today. It's something I would like to see stopped moving into 2019, 2020, etc. I think over the next few years, I would love to see phones having batteries that can be replaced easily. And over the last few years, if you wanted to buy a phone with a replaceable battery, there were quite a few options that you could buy from China. But even phones like this coming from China now tend to have a non-replaceable battery. They tend to have a battery that's enclosed in there and you can't really do much with it. So even in China now, we're seeing, unless you go to the really bottom end of the phone market, we're seeing most phones coming out with a non-replaceable battery. So I'm not a fan of it. It has to stop, in my opinion. But I'd love to hear what you guys think about it. So please do leave a comment below and I will speak to you all very soon. Take care.